So what we got to do is get our heads together and figure out how we gonna change things around a little bit. You know what I mean? We got to work on this from morning till night. Cause as long as you let them get away with it, they gonna do it.
Hello everyone, this is Angela and welcome to my channel, Angie the ENTJ. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click on the notifications bell so that you'll know whenever I upload any new content. I'm thinking about making this a series about saying the things that other people are not talking about and maybe thinking about. I tend to do that on this channel anyway. Although my content places a much necessary focus on women and girls, despite that, I have been one of the rare few who have also consistently pointed out, on occasion, how boys and young men are also harmed by this dusty patriarchy simply because it's the truth. And my goal is to stand by the truth no matter what, even when it's inconvenient. So in today's video, you're about to see footage that is going to show an uptick in these overgrown males who are often lazy, uneducated, lacking resources, opportunistic, parasitic. How now that their access to girls and women has dwindled, they are now starting to uptick in the blatant violation of boys, specifically teen boys. Let's watch a video of a PEDO, a pedo, who is going to be handcuffed for being in the back seat of his car, or let me say a car because it may have been someone else's car, with a 16-year-old, and then I'll be back.
How's it going, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Stepping out of here for me? Shut the door for me? What you guys doing, man? You have any weapons on you or anything like that?
No.
What are you guys doing out here?
We're just chilling, that's all.
Just chilling?
It was getting hot in the car, so I just took my shirt off.
Well, when I walked up, you were putting your shorts on.
No, my shorts, because a lot of times in my shorts, they get kind of stuck. So I was like trying to fix them.
Okay.
Because when you sit in the car, it get wet, sometimes give you a wedge.
Okay. So, will you see how it looks? I come up, you two are in the back seat.
Right, because the front seat, the front seat is like far away from me. So I was like, just talking.
How old are you?
I'll be 48.
Or you guys had your pants down?
I didn't
You don't
have
have to
my
lie.
pants down.
I kind of figure what's going on.
I didn't have my pants down, though.
Oh, he did.
He had his pants down?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, you're not going to tell me what's going on? No?
That was...
If that's what you guys are doing, that's what you guys are going to do.
Right.
At some point.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
People do it all the time, but you don't need to lie.
Okay. Yeah, I was sucking in. Go ahead and turn around, camp down the back.
We have been seeing officers go in and out of the Sotomayor houses right here in that door off Bruckner Boulevard. And we can tell you some details to this heinous crime. We're told a 13-year-old boy went to throw out some trash. And according to our police sources, while he was doing that chore, that boy was approached by an unknown man who pulled that teen into a stairwell at around 11:45 last night and sexually assaulted him. Now the Special Victims Unit has taken on that case. The only description we have of the suspect that they're looking for is a man who took off running, about to be 30 to 40 years old, bald, with a beard, thin and dark skin. He was last seen wearing a gray tank top and black jeans. That boy was taken to the hospital. Police still searching the area by foot and also by helicopter earlier, but yielded nothing. Still no arrests have been made, and what's worse, police tell us that the suspect and the victim did not know each other. From Bruckner Boulevard in the Bronx, I'm Kalorama, Pix 11 News.
Okay, I'm back. So this 40-year-old male has groomed the 16-year-old teen boy who is literally young enough to be his own child, his own son. Okay. And the Dusty himself is practically a quarter of a century are nearly 25 years older than this child, who he is actually exploiting. I am glad that he's been locked away, and I hope that he is punished to the full extent of the law. There was also a 13-year-old boy, unfortunately, in New York City, in the Bronx, who was taking out his grandmother's trash when an older black male savagely violated him and stole his iPhone in the process. So the reason why I am showing this is because I want to take down the curtains of deceit that have been put into place by people like this 40-year-old Dusty, as well as the other violent offender who took advantage of the 13-year-old. And they put these curtains of deceit into place so that they themselves can hide behind them while puppeteering the society, puppeteering the masses, and manipulating. One of the curtains that they hide behind is the myth of grown adult people turning gay or bisexual or any other part of the rainbow. Nobody who is an adult on this planet, quote, end quote, turns gay. Stay with me because I'm going somewhere with it. I specifically said, for those in the back, nobody, no one who is an adult on this planet, quote, end quote, turns gay. Listen, if any adult can turn gay, then that also means that they can turn straight too. So the reality is that you are either gay or you're not. You are either straight or you are not. You either are what you are or you're not what you're not. And before I go any further, here's what I'm not saying. Let me put that disclaimer out here real quick. What I am not saying is that there is something wrong with a person who is a part of the rainbow. Quite to the contrary. What I am saying is that basically that a person who is a part of the rainbow community, that them being a rainbow person is usually a symptom of something bigger. And whatever that is not the fault of the rainbow person. It's not the fault of the individual. I did a video about it about 9 months ago. What a coincidence. Where I pointed out a study that involved a gay man attempting to scientifically understand how the heck did he become gay. His video was titled Born This Way. And at the root of it is prenatal maternal stress, or basically stress that the baby is experiencing while his mother is stressed while she's pregnant. Prenatal maternal stress can come in the form of a serious illness while pregnant. Like, for instance, imagine that a woman is pregnant and she's diagnosed with cancer. That's a lot of stress. She's worried about if she's going to live, what's going to happen to the baby. All of that stress can impact the baby. It can come in the form of finances and being worried about how you're going to feed this little additional mouth in the next few months. And I'm not talking about, oh, how am I going to work overtime? Life is going to be hard for, about a year until we get settled. No. I'm talking about, I'm broke, I'm homeless, I'm sleeping on a park bench. Somebody violated me. That's how I became pregnant. And I live in a state where I can't get any help for that. So what is going to happen? See, those kind of financial worries, okay? So on top of that, for those of you who think that women are just being petty for having high standards, no. It's part of our evolution as feminine human beings to ensure that the resources are available to sustain the family that's being created. So prenatal maternal stress about finances can and does impact the baby's ability to reproduce when they grow into adulthood. Prenatal maternal stress can also come in the form of safety concerns, such as the mother living in a war zone, or something similar like being terrorized by the male who impregnated her with the child that she's carrying, which is like living in a war zone in and of itself. My video, which is another one titled No Legacy, How nature foils tyrannical males who abuse pregnant mamas, focuses on the pregnant women who are living in virtual combat zones with their husbands, baby daddies, fiancés, or whoever the heck you may be. And that video too piggybacks off of another video I did a month earlier from that, so about 10 months ago, titled Get Off of My Nerves, How Stress Can Trigger Autoimmune Illnesses in Women, where through research it shows that 80% of women diagnosed with autoimmune illnesses are women. And the reason why has to do with the fact that we have two X chromosomes, or basically our bodies are highly specialized. So we have to be careful with anything that can knock it out of whack. In those videos, I wanted to enable women in particular to understand how much damage chronic stress does to our bodies, down to affecting the sexuality of our unborn children during pregnancy. So if you are partnered up with a man who is cursing you out, calling you names, he's emotionally abusive, neglectful, cheating on you, beating on you, go down the list, especially while you are pregnant, then what is actually happening, according to the research, not my opinion, not my point of view, not my feelings, according to the research, according to the data, what is actually happening is that your body is coping with his abuse on a biochemical level by producing, for instance, cortisol, which turns off the gene of sexual attraction in your child for the opposite gender. Small children can be impacted as well, because we have to remember that their little bodies are still developing, and the same physical, financial, emotional insecurity that can impact the development of the child in utero can also throw off their little hormones while they're developing from infancy into toddlerhood and so forth. So when rainbow people say that they were born that way, and when they say that they have been like this since they were a child, you best believe they are speaking the truth. Now, add to all of it that the children may have been abused at the same time the dude was abusing the mother, or worse. So no adult turns gay. They were already that way since they were born or since childhood. So we want to remove the turning gay myth, because it will help us to point out the down low men a little bit better. And that's the only reason why I'm talking about it. Not to malign gay people, but to point out a particular down low character who is a rotten apple in that community, and how his rottenness affects everything around him. And again, I want to emphasize there is nothing wrong with rainbow people, gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans. That's not the issue. My focus is on the ones who are down low and manipulate others, such as the pastor, who is a down low gay male, who, as well as the dude who violated the 13-year-old boy while he was taking out his grandmother's trash in the Bronx, knew they were gay before they did what they did. Quick disclaimer. I'm also not saying that rainbow people are inherently pedos or sex offenders in general. I'm not saying that either. There are sexual offenders from all sexualities. However, we do need to map out this behavior in down low males within Blackistan so that we can protect women and children from being victimized by these characters. Many pedophiles are single men, and they like to be in areas where they can access their prey with ease. And again, disclaimer, I'm not saying that all single men are automatically pedos. So, I am not attempting to malign single men as pedos. However, for the sake of clarity, what I'm saying that many pedos also happen to be single men. And they tend to also like to be in areas or situations where they can access their prey with ease. And many of them have figured out that if they pair up with a woman, because think about it, if a woman is comfortable with his presence, women value safety, therefore he must be a safe person, right? So it makes it easier for them to be trusted by members within the greater society, that they are not seen as a threat. So they use the relationship with women as a cover for their true activities. This is part of the reason why in Blackistan, there are so many black males who hate black women. But as much as they hate us, they're still asking for our phone numbers. They're still offering to take us out on a date. But then they act stupid when it's time to pay the bill. This is why they will still lay down and have relationships with black women. More and more now are marrying black women who will allow them to do that. But then he'll turn around and cheat on her and give her an sexually transmitted disease. He will create children with her, but leave her to do 100% of the parenting, 100% of the cooking, the cleaning, and want her to be a traditional housewife and offer her free labor, cook, clean, do laundry, fold, iron, etc. But that's only while she's behind closed doors. But he'll want her to wake up by 6, 7 a.m. and work morning, noon, and night. And he wants her to be on a job so she's away from home long enough for him to do his misdeeds. And she's too tired, exhausted, and worn out to enjoy anything that she wants from him. So even if he gives her what she wants on occasion, she can't really enjoy it because she's too tired and catching up on sleep. And simultaneously, or at the same time, whenever the woman dares to complain about having a relationship problem with this dude, this society is giving her useless anecdotes such as, oh, be nice and cook his favorite meal, and don't be so upfront when you're talking to him. Walk around on eggshells to protect his ego. See, all of this does is allows this dangerous dude, who is more often than not a combination of being on a download, which is a problem in and of itself, and of being a pedophile. It allows him to fly under the radar, where he can occasionally spring up in the form of this 40-year-old pastor with the 16-year-old boy in the backseat of his car, or the random dude in his 30s or 40s who attacks a 13-year-old boy while he's simply performing a chore for his grandmother. See, the reason why I stated earlier that, quote unquote, turning gay is a myth is because we have to, albeit it may be uncomfortable, we have to look at it from the side of things so that we can keep our daughters, our sons, our nieces, our nephews, our little cousins, as well as other family members safe. We have to be able to see a thing for a thing. So I want you to think about someone who is walking around with this combination of factors. Let's talk about the first factor, that he's a male. So a young man walking through the streets, nobody knows him. So when a stranger sees him, they tense up because they don't know him. They don't know what he's capable of doing, except they don't do that when he's with a woman or when he's with children. They relax. Now, bear in mind, this same male knows that he's not attracted to women, which again, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But the second factor, see, the first factor is that he's a male and he's single and people see him as a threat. Okay. But the second factor is that he does not want a relationship with another grown man either. Perplexing, isn't it? He's gay, he's bisexual, he's whatever, but he doesn't want to be with a man. What in the world? How? You see, let me tell you something. A gay man is still a man. And a gay man who's out of the closet, living openly, living his truth, is not going to tolerate another man's bullcrap. He can't go and be a nasty bum that argues nonstop with another gay man, because eventually they're going to fight like cats and dogs, and the openly gay man is going to kick the dusty DL dude out into the streets. So he can't run game on the other gays like that. So that's the second factor. First factor, he's a dude and people are tensing up around him. Second factor is that he's gay, but he don't want to be with other gay men because they'll hold him accountable. And then add to it the third factor, that he is also a pedo. Emphasis on the word also. Okay. So this is why this type of dude starts running game on women for resources so that he can pass as someone who is considered to be safe and trustworthy. Because remember, it takes a lot for women to be comfortable. Our standards are high. So in the eyes of the society, he's passed her test. So he must be all right. And by her being all right with him, that handles the first factor. He's no longer being perceived as an unsafe or untrustworthy being. And because he's with her, it also deals with the other factors. No one questions his sexuality because, after all, he's with a woman and they may even have children together. So the issue of him being gay and not wanting to be with other gay men and all that, that's off the table because no one is looking at him as a gay man to begin with. And now he's able to pass as a straight man. Therefore, what happens is that the society at large will think that he's not interested in having sex with men or boys. And as a bonus, he can cosplay as a significant other, a husband, a fiance, a boyfriend, whatever. And more points to be earned if he's also a father. But, there's a price to everything, even when it's not being paid with money. And the price he has to pay for pretending to be something that he's not in order to get what he really wants is that he's in a relationship with a woman where he has to pretend to be a man that he never was to begin with. He has to pretend to like tatas and vajayjay. He has to pretend to like this woman climbing on top of him, smelling like Bath and Body Works or smelling like, perfume and whatnot. He has to pretend to like that. And he cannot behave as if he prefers the taste instead of baby batter swimming around in his mouth or his throat. And out of fear for his life, he cannot really show the truth about what he really, really likes. He can't reveal that he's that variation of a down low dude who also likes little boys. So what does he do? While men who are actually sexually attracted to women and are married to the woman of their dreams are doing everything that she wants and they're all happy, this one will begin to nitpick at everything that the woman he's with will do. He won't help her with anything. He'll just criticize her in every single way over stupid stuff. For instance, she gained weight while she was pregnant with his child. Every woman gains weight when she's pregnant, even the tiny ones. You have to, because if you didn't gain weight, then your child wouldn't come out at all. So even when a skinny woman is pregnant, when you add up the amniotic fluid and the weight of the baby, she's going to gain weight. So he'll pick at something like that. Or here's another one. She did not have the house perfectly clean 3 days after delivering the said baby. Or she did not cook a meal for him from scratch as soon as she got home from working a 12-hour shift and spending another 2 hours in traffic and running errands. Instead, she ordered Uber Eats or DoorDash on her dime, but he wanted it cooked from scratch. Little stupid stuff like that. Or worse. This woman committed the crime of telling him to do it his doggone self and reminding him that he's a freaking grown adult too, and that he can pitch in and help out. If she dares to do something like that, she's the devil. So what does he do? He blows up, tell her that her mouth is too big, she got attitude, whatever. But here's the reality. The reality is that he's blowing up because even if the woman did what Niecy Nash once recommended, when she said to give him a blowjob a day to keep the divorce attorney away, right? It will never be enough because that is not what pops his rocks. So the dusty DL pedo, who is hiding his true identity behind women and behind trusted positions within the society, such as being a pastor, a youth leader, or something like that, what he does is he gets irritated because he's living a lie And he takes it out on the woman's weave, her makeup, her degrees, the number of baby daddies that she has, even though the majority of Black women who are single moms have on average about 2 kids at the most. And typically, the woman was in a long-term committed relationship with the father or the fathers of both children who, chances are high, begged her to have a baby with him. You see, the dusty DL males who are also pedos will do whatever it takes in order to make her look bad and unworthy. So unworthy that the society can understand why he just randomly ups and leaves her, even though they're supposed to be living in the same home together. Okay, because she is so horrible, right? That way, nobody questions what he's doing when he's not around. Because after all, he's not around because she was not good enough. She doesn't have her act together, right? So now we're in 2024, about to be 2025. It's hobo sexual season. And it's official that the collective of Black women especially have left Blackistan, with the exception of a handful of pygmies. And even they are starting to wisen up as well. So what's happened to Blackistan since the women have swirled, divested, Black girl in luxuried out, since they've BWE'd and child-free movement and West 4 Bead, etc. movements out of the ghetto and left them into their own devices? Well, it's burning down, and it's burning down a lot of characters with it. Along with the characters that are being burnt down with Blackistan, beside some of the pygmies and other women that enable guys like this, okay? There are the dudes, the addicts, who are left jonesing for their drug of choice. They're looking for that hit, and everything has gone up. And on top of that, they can't sell themselves for it. They can't sell their mouths. They can't sell their throats. They can't sell their bottoms, because the guy who would normally buy it was able to afford it because he was leveraging the use of the woman's resources to sustain himself so that he can indulge into male-to-male, down-low activities while using his own resources. He was relying on Keisha's nursing or teaching or social worker resources to help the household bills. Meanwhile, all he had to do was pay the light bill, even though he could have paid for the water and the internet too. But instead of doing so, he got new outfits and he got drugs for the addict that would suck him off. But now the light bill man has to figure out how to pay his own way, and he's struggling. He's living with his relatives, and that's not going so well either. Now, those people who do not happen to be pedos are burning down with Blackistan. Now, imagine if 1 out of 30 of those people happen to like little boys. They want to be with little boys. So, of course, he's going to become opportunistic and attack little boys, as well as teen boys, whose families thought that they were safe because, after all, they're teenagers. They're big enough to fight. This dude wants to be with little boys. However, he's too broke to hide in the open overseas in nations with loosely enforced laws where sex with children would cost less than a meal at Applebee's stateside, especially in places like the poorer parts of Asia, the poorer parts of the Philippines and Thailand. Ground zero for the global gender imbalance is Asia, where there are more men than women. In some places, for every 100 women, there are 130 men. And this is where they go to? To be with women? Okay. Yeah. And just to go on a tangent for a bit, the dudes that claimed that the Black women were so terrible that they had to go to be with other women. First, it was Black women. Then it was a problem with American women. Then it was an issue with Western women, and they were saying Western because they were going down to Colombia, the DR, Brazil, whatever. They were going to those places, right? Then it became an issue with modern women So they were leaving all these assortment of women behind to go overseas to find a traditional woman. You see, let me put you up on game. They never, ever, hardly, if ever, talk about the global competition that they encounter when they get to those places, with the exception to those who may come from Europe. They paint a picture as if it's only Western men like Americans, Europeans, and Russians who are going to those places, when Eastern men from India, China, South Korea, Singapore, as well as from Arabia, and so forth, they go there too. The Indians even show up in groups.
This destination is becoming so popular for Indians. The only problem is that they do not bring Indian girls, they only bring Indian guys. There are endless amounts of Indian guys, especially at night, and they have been taking over the entire party scenes. There are clubs for Indians only, and there are workers that they are just from India. I have no idea how they do hire such workers, and 30 minutes, 1,500 baht. Expensive. $45? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Pattaya, it's gotten really expensive. And not only Pattaya, Thailand has gotten pretty expensive. There is a barber shop. In 2020 you could have gone there for 100 baht, and now it's 140. 40% higher. Oh my goodness. But okay, he needs to survive. The other type of tourists we do get here in Pattaya, apart from Indians, are Russians. So in the past it was majority Americans, North Europeans, Chinese, and a few Indians, lots of Russians, but nowadays it's 90% Indians on some streets. Like if you go on Walking Street, that's the road that is most famous for dancing girls. Let's call it this way. There are also other interesting roads like Soy 6, and there are some areas like Tree Town. Well, guys, if you go on that road nowadays, they will stop you. So many Indians, and by the fact that I have some hair, that I look a bit darker thanks to this beautiful sunny tan, well, I get stopped continuously, and they think that I want to join them in some Indian clubs. And no ladies. What's the point of going to a club to stay there with other guys? If I want to meet guys, I can meet them over lunch, over breakfast, and speak about business, speak about ideas. If I want to club, I prefer to club with friends and ladies. There is no point in clubbing without ladies, guys. I'm sorry, but I see no point. Anyway, I am digressing so much at the start of this video. Jannat Club, absolutely crazy. At night, all the Indians coming inside, all the Indians selling you the possibility to get inside. But where are all the Indian girls? None of them is here. Only 18% of the female population works in India, so I guess all the girls, they do not have the money to travel, and only the guys do come here. That's a sad reality. The good things about the Russians instead is that they do bring their ladies with them. Indian guys, they just travel by themselves and in big groups, and they attack every possible prey. Leela Club, another Indian club. I've seen a massive quantity of Indians over here. I've seen Indians fighting over here. For a moment I thought I was in Delhi, like there were 100 Indians in the corner of this street. There are a few Russian strip clubs, but that's mostly it. This is India, and I was inside this club, Nasha, and practically, guys, it felt like being inside an Indian wedding. I went inside, I shook hands with the big boss. The big boss thought I was Indian myself, and well, it's all sparkling and glittery, but nothing. You go inside, there are book tables, lots of Indian standings, and you can do nothing about it. There is no specific dance floor. I would say that walking street Pattaya has been completely ruined. A club without a dance floor is a club where you cannot go, engage and pick up girls. The Indians have conquered this place, and there is no coming back, I feel. They have all the money needed, and they took cover completely. Let's send, guys. I'm watching this hotel. I cannot fail to notice at the window an Indian guy with a pretty Thai lady. I just spoke with other Indians, and they told me that some of the Indians coming here are very, very rich, and sometimes they like Thai ladies, sometimes they like Ukrainian ladies, sometimes Russian ladies. It's all mixed over here, and no car wants to let me pass. Can we do it? So they were telling me, oh, you know, if you go on soy 6, the girls are 1,000. Like, no problem, I never pay. They're like, if you go there, the girls are 3,000. I'm like, no, I never pay. But then we were with this Indian guy, and he paid 20,000 for a girl. He's ruining the market. I cannot make a proper Indian accent, but the conversation was so funny. They just, he's ruining the market. He's ruining the market. He's ruining the market.
For instance, in the DR, you know, average person pays between $100 and $200 a month for rent. You know what I'm saying? So if you know, papi dinero, you come down here, you know what I'm saying, you spending, you know, $200-300 on a female in a day, man, you just blowing things way out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? You're messing up the economy, the local economy. So now the next guy comes down, these women are gonna expect way more than probably ever seen. I ain't gonna say deserve, you know what I'm saying?
So you're a girl or you're a lady boy on the strip in Pattaya and you need to make money. Who are you going to go for? Because, hey, you got to eat. Stuff is due. You want to up your life. Are you going to go for one man and one act? Or are you going to have a bunch of men lining up in groups and, you know, getting that group pay? Harsh reality, but that's what's going on. See, that's the real reason why those dudes are making it rain with their American dollars and putting on such a show in these places, because they have to compete against the other men. And oh, by the way, Indians have their own portion of the stroll in Pattaya where they have restaurants, clubs, and other establishments in Thailand. I'm just saying. So going back to exposing the DL dude, who also happens to be a pedo too, listen, times are hard for him. He's jonesing for his drugs. He's jonesing for access to a little boy to exploit. He's angry and bitter. And he can't leverage his ex's unpaid labor and her resources for his own selfish purposes. And now he's cooped up with his relatives who are not letting him rest because they're wondering, when is he going to get a job to help out, or he going to have to, you know, get the heck out. So I said all that to say, y'all be careful. Watch the women and the girls in your family, but also watch out for the little boys and the teen boys too. Let them know that these dusty DL men will enslave them and use them in that exploited way, as well as sell them to other dusty DL pedo males for an income to pay their rent. I don't doubt that that pastor who got caught in the backseat with that 16-year-old boy wasn't setting up a situation where he was going to pass him around to other people like him. I already did a video titled Abortion Rights and the Real Economic Tea about 5 months ago, where I showed how children are being sex trafficked, with babies being sold for the highest price and girls for the lowest price. And boys are being sold for between $250 and $400 per hour with a 2-hour minimum purchase. And I also shared the prices globally as well, so that you can be aware and protect yourselves and your family members against these people who see them as nothing more than objects to pop their rocks to, while forcing them to perform tasks to satisfy their own twisted perversions. The goal of this video was to show you that Blackistan has continued to burn since your absence, which is a sign that you are not the reason why it has gone up in smoke to begin with. Additionally, it was to open everyone's eyes to the down low pedo, who hides in the open behind relationships with women, pretending to be straight when he's not, and he causes irreparable harm to the members of the community to the extent of violating children. And I said that with the disclaimer that I am not saying that rainbow men are also pedos. There are pedos of all sexualities. But what you need to know is that now that this distinct group of pedos, who also happen to be on the down low, who also happen to be rainbow males, have been left burning in the embers of Blackistan. Listen, Ish is about to get more real with human trafficking, especially of boys. with the bonus in the eyes of the pedo that they cannot become pregnant. So watch out for everybody, especially if you have boys that have a bright future ahead of them. You got to watch out for the DL pedo, and you got to watch out for also jealous young men who don't have a bright future because, they were listening to these dusties throw them off their game. So now they're too old, and it's going to take a lot for them to make up for how they fell behind listening to dusty old males. So what do? They take out that anger on the other young man that's their age but has a bright and promising future. So watch out for your girls. Watch out for your boys too. So that's all I have to say for now. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click on the notification bell so that you'll know whenever I upload any new content. Take care until next time.